आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्त्वन्धकारो वै ऋकारस्तनिवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ आप्यायन्तु मम अङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु। तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Chant the fourth verse. Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate atmana vindate viryam vidyaya vindate mritam. So this is an important verse and we have been studying it for a while. But I thought that we can internalize the meaning of it deeper in our hearts if we did a meditation on it. So let us do a meditation on this particular verse. The whole meditation is centered around the essence of the second chapter, verse number 4. Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate atmana vindate viryam vidyaya vindate mritam amritam mritam. So let's do a meditation. Since we have not done meditation for a while, I'm not even sure that we have done any in this class. It might be good to just review some of the basic steps, not all of them, but just to get your mind into a peaceful state to meditate upon the essence of this verse. So let's just do some very simple steps that we have done. I'm going to turn off these two bright lamps that are shining in my eyes and leave the upstairs lights on. So please sit comfortably. With your back relatively straight, not taking the support of any chair backing, feet firmly on the ground, and relaxed in your demeanor, in your attitude. Again, the sankalpa that this meditation is to inquire into the nature of the person, not the nature of the personality surrounding the person. We start by paying attention to the one sense organ which is distributed throughout my body. That is the only sense organ, the sense of touch, which permeates the entire body. You can feel the touch of the ground touching your feet. You can pay attention to the touch of the chair to your thighs. You can feel the touch of the two sets of fingers in your hands touching each other. The touch of your hands resting on your lap. Lastly, we pay attention to the gentlest of the touches, the touch of the two sets of eyelashes as you close your eyes. You can even open the eyes just a little bit to let the light come in and feel the two sets of eyelashes disengage. Then, as you close your eyes, the eyelashes touch. You may repeat this one more time. Next, we examine the state of any stored tension in your body. Starting from the very top, working all the way down to the bottom of the body. Be aware of any points where parts of the body may be holding some tension. Gently ask that part of the body to relax. Like the eyes, temples, the back of the neck. Relax. In certain portions of the body, that have a habit of storing tension, you may spend some more time pausing until that part relaxes relatively. Stomach, you may take the help of some simple breathing in assisting your body to be relaxed. In the stomach area, for example, you can take a breath in consciously, and as you let the breath out, watch how the tension also releases. Go through the rest of the body, pausing to examine like a masseuse, part by part, until your body is relaxed. You will notice that in these steps there is a twin benefit. Not only is your physical body more relaxed, but your mind is engaged and becomes more peaceful. Let your mind participate in this beautiful exercise. For now, we will just stop at these preparatory steps and launch into the meditation proper. Except for some very exceptional cases of people born blind, all of us lead a life of seeing forms. From the moment we awaken to when we close our eyes to go to sleep or in meditation, your eyes enable you to see form after form after form the entire day. Sometimes we cognize new forms, and sometimes we recognize old forms. But this process of seeing forms goes on continuously, effortlessly. You're not even aware of your eye seeing the forms. But if you pause to reflect, is any of the seeing of the forms possible without our eyes? Is there any doubt that our eye exists and is functioning? And yet, it is remarkable that in spite of the enormous capability that our eyes have of being able to bring the entire cosmos into our direct view, it cannot see itself. Despite the existence of the eyes, I cannot see the eyes directly without an external aid. For that, I have to have a clear, calm, polished, reflecting surface. Including clear water. Not any surface, but a clear, calm, polished, reflecting surface that has been worked on consciously to make the reflection happen like a mirror. A clear, polished mirror shows the contours of my eye very accurately. It does not take any effort other than just opening the eyes and looking at the mirror to see itself. It is also true that if the mirror has fair amount of dirt on it. Sometimes an old mirror lying outside for years has got the mud caked on it. In that case, the covering of the mirror cannot reflect my eyes. But if I remove the dirt and with some more effort remove the caked dirt and mud, this might take some effort, but once the mirror is clean, it reflects me effortlessly. If this example is clear, let us apply this to the nature of awareness. It is easy to see that my life is made up of awareful experiences. Not just during the waking hours, at all times. The dream also is a series of awareful experiences. The deep sleep also is a awareful experience, but of nothing. The awareful experience is there, but since the eyes are sleeping, I don't see anything. So it is clear that my life consists of series of awareful experiences. Experience of time, experience of events gone by, an experience of current situations, and awareness of possible situations in the future. Situations that involve inner things, living beings, good and bad, a smorgasbord of different experiences. If this is clear, we ask the same question. Is any of our awareful experiences that are continuously going on possible without the existence of awareness? Unchanging awareness. Like an eye is stable relatively stable and unchanging in being able to see all the forms of my life? Is it not clear that I have an unchanging awareness which is responsible for all awareful experiences? Like seeing all forms, confirming the process and the presence of eyes, is it possible that my life of seeing the awareful experiences be possible without a source of awareness? Like the existence of eyes, which is natural, even though I don't see them, do I need to see the awareness to confirm its nature? Is it not obvious that I have eyes? Because my life is full of seeing things, even though I cannot directly see the eyes? Isn't it obvious that my nature is awareness, because I have a natural, effortless ability for awareful experiences? Is my life possible without I being a nature of awareness or knowledge? Knowledge and awareness are two names of the same thing. Consciousness, knowledge, awareness, chit, jnanam refer to the same thing. My life's experiences I can reflect are made up of knowledge. I know this, I know that, I used to know. Even if I don't know something, I know. I know certain things, and I know that I don't know certain things. In all cases, it is knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. Awareful experiences is simply the knowledge of the world. Does it not show that my nature is knowledge? That everyone's makeup is knowledge of awareness? Is it not clear that awareness, knowledge, is the bedrock of life? The substance that makes up the entire variety of life? Like pictures drawn on a cloth. The cloth is the basis of all pictures. Similarly, awareness is the basis of all specific knowledges. Like eyes that you need not know, but it is there and can be seen through a reflecting surface. Awareness can also be revealed through a reflecting surface, like a clear, clean mirror. The words of the Upanishads are that reflecting surface. It directly confirms the nature of awareness. I am aware that my nature is awareness. What I don't know is the contours of this awareness. Like I know my eyes exist, but I need a reflecting surface to see the contours of my eyes. Similarly, the Upanishads does not make you see that you are awareness. That I am already aware of. What it shows me is the contours of my awareness. It makes it very clear. Shastra reveals the timelessness of awareness. It shows and it tells repeatedly, firmly, consistently, and clearly that the awareness is self-existing. I could not have known this in any other way. This is the reflecting surface. That my existence is self-existing, meaning it requires no support, no cause, no origin. It is the very nature of existence, Satyam. It is always there, independent of everything. Swayam Siddhaha, self-existing. It powers the worldly existence, which is inert, like in a dream. The objects come alive by the presence of awareness. Mountains, rivers, tables become awareful by the presence of I, the awareness. Not only is it self-existent, it is self-effulgent. Like the sun is the very source of light. Awareness, Chit or Jnanam, is self-effulgent. Unlike the sun, it is formless. It does not require any fuel, any food. It is not subject to decay. It is all pervasive. Anantam. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. This is the nature of awareness, which is I, the Atma. So, just like a mirror reveals the exact nature of the eyes, even though I knew that the eyes were there. Similarly, I am vaguely aware that my nature is awareness, but the Shastra, the Shruti, the Upanishad, as a reflecting surface, clearly explains the unlimited nature of awareness. But I need to have my own reflecting surface clean to see myself clearly as timeless. It's as though my mind is covered by the dirt and sometimes caked in by the mud of preconceived notions, by doubt, by fear, by confusion, by Brahma, by clinging to the notion of the body and mind, by intense likes and dislikes. So like a mirror that may need a determined work to remove the muck, the individual mind may need to work to make it smooth, peaceful, and loving. The existence of the independent Atma has always been there, but the fullness of its nature becomes clear with the help of the Shastra and my clear, clean and peaceful, educated mind. This is the meaning of this important verse. Pratibodha viditam matam. Pratibodha means in all cognitions, in all awareful experiences, it is there. If I see this, the nature of the awareness as independent of any limitations becomes clear. Amritatvam hi vindate. Atmana vindate viryam. As we saw last week, by the power of my wanting to know and listening, absorbing and reflecting on it, Atmana vindate viryam. Vidyaya vindate amritam. By the sheer knowledge of the truth of the reflecting surface of my reality, I gain freedom. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, a few things left over from last class. We had talked quite a bit about Atmana Vindate Viryam. And we had gone over some of the aspects of Atmana Vindate, means that with my own effort, my sankalpa, my strength, my strength of gaining the power of this vidya, I become free. So I had mentioned to you that there are two aspects of this journey of life. So one is to take responsibility, because it is not until I digest the food can I really benefit. So this is the meaning of Atmana Vindate. And so food can be given to me, and I need to get good food from the Shastra, the food of the mind, but I have to partake of it. It is not forced feeding. I have to eat it and digest it. I have to think about it. Swami Maheshananji had said the word Vichara. So Vichara, Viveka and Vichara. So Vichara is a Sanskrit word which means to think, to deliberate. And Swami Maheshananji said this comes from one dhatu called char, means to move forward, to even eat. Chara. The other one is the prefix to it called Vichara. So what the prefix does is to complete the process. Don't just do it for the sake of it, but to absorb it. This is called Vichara. Beautiful word. So this is what we need to do. So the Shastra will of course tell us as a reflecting surface, this is who you are. But now I have to work to own it. And in doing so, it's my effort and my reliance on Ishvara. So it is very important that we rely on this very, very powerful incentive for me to give in to Ishvara, because I cannot do it by myself. I cannot just do it by myself because it is too difficult. So I need the help of Ishvara. So here, to spend a few minutes just talking about what do you mean by the help of Ishvara? What do I need to do? So here in one of the texts from Maheshananji had given an example of this. He said that like a parent to a child, where the child really is not developed enough to do things by itself, it allows the parents to form the contours of the child's life. The child has to do some things, it has to study and work and so on and so forth. But the taking care of the overall life has to be done by the parent. So you have a 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8-year-old cannot say, okay, don't help me, I'm going to do it on my own. Even if the child has to, even if the parent has to give some food, the child has to really sit down and eat and all that. But the overall sense of the life has to be done by the parent. And Swamiji has cited many very great Mahatmas to say that this is a very important way for us to rely on Ishvara to lead my life. So just like in the case of the child and the parent, the child after a while becomes independent. And there comes a period where it has some independence, but it still relies on the parents. The parents have to support. And there comes a point where the child just doesn't want any support and wants to do everything by itself. Hopefully, it has been well educated, well supported, that it doesn't need anybody's help and you can be on your own. In our life, many of the Mahatmas have pointed out that we need to understand that Ishvara is my parent. Similarly, just like in this case. So this has major implications, really. So what happens is that I feel responsible for my life. I feel worry. I am anxious to do well. And I feel some support from my families and so on, but basically I feel alone. And this feeling is not right. Because you and I are the children of God. Really. And as the Antaryami, it is always with us. Always. Not once in a while. Not only when you do pujas or anything like that. Always with us. It's just that I don't recognize it. We talked about the fact that we should even think about just the basics of our living. The heart pumping, the blood flowing, the lungs working, the oxygen capability. Even that I don't even pay much attention to. But on a much larger scale, my life, my evolution, what is good for me, what is not good for me. Ishvara is very much involved. And one of the ways that Ishvara is involved is the thoughts that I have that govern my own life. If Ishvara, as my Antaryami, needs to punish me, as should. All parents need to have discipline as well as love. Some punishment, carrots and sticks, both are necessary. So if, as a parent needs to punish somebody, to discipline someone, then the Mahatmas say, it will give you unpleasant thoughts. Your own thoughts. Yes, there are some external circumstances that can affect our life. Accidents can happen and so on. But really speaking, the most important determinant of our life is our own thinking. Depression, disappointment, frustration. This is how Ishvara has to punish me. In the Rudram, so there are two parts of Rudra. Rudra is the one who can chastise me, and Rudra is also the one who can please me. In the very first verse it says, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Namaste Ishave Bahubhyam Namaha Namaste Manyave Utate Namaha. Manyave Utate Namaha. Manyave means the angry Ishvara, the one who's punishing me. And here Swami Maheshananji has pointed out that really speaking, this is something that to be really seen. When Ishvara disappears from my life and I am only alone as a human being, as a jiva, with all of its attendant qualities of within the realm of time, with being born and dying, with diseases and all of those kinds of things. This is the jivatvam, this is the samsaritvam. All that happens is that the jiva is not able to see Ishvara at that time. It only sees its own limitations. It's not able to see the non-limitations of Ishvara, which is also me. I'm unable to see that. And the pleasantness of Rudra is when I'm able to see that. And so therefore it is very important for us to recognize the pleasant Ishvara in me, not the unpleasant Ishvara where I myself have denied the presence of Ishvara. And this closing the loop on this parent-child relationship is possible when you recognize, when you learn, you accept with knowledge, not accept what cannot be cured must be endured, but with knowledge that you have a parent who is willing to guide your life. This is the importance of the Gayatri mantra. Dhiyo yo naf prachodayat. May my thoughts be turned towards you, O Ishvara, O Rudra, O Shiva, so that I am able to turn my back towards my problems and have you negotiate my life. And this comes slowly. It may not happen right away. But the more you give in, you feel the presence of Ishvara, the better off you will be. So therefore, in addition to taking responsibility for our actions, we should also recognize that there is a larger thing happening. And if you do that, then the presence of Ishvara in your own self becomes very palpable. And it becomes palpable because you find that just closing your eyes and just thinking about your own nature, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, gives you more peace of mind than any other thing that you can do in your life. This is what needs to happen. And we, of course, rebel, don't accept this very well. We say, really? I can't believe this. I find joy in eating and listening to music and so on, but I don't find any joy just in myself. Yes, initially, yet you will not. Because you have not inquired, you have not let yourself go. But if we do that, the peacefulness and the fullness and the joy of your own self will become apparent to you. And when that starts to happen, then Vairagya and Viveka and all these terms become reality. What you will see is that the world ceases to bother you. Somehow magically it ceases to not have the hold on it. Whatever happens, happens. Not important. And why? Because you have already discovered a source of joy which is yourself. What more can one ask? And what you will see if we progress on this path with this is what is called kritakrityata. So kritakrityata means whatever is kritya, what is to be done, is done. Kritya becomes krita. Krita means done. Kritya means to be done. Because at this point in our life, as we negotiate our life, we have lots of desires that would be nice to do. I need to do that. Why? Because I'm not completely happy with myself as I am, and so therefore I need to do something. But if one discovers this inner joy, which may happen slowly, but definitely there is an inflection point that comes in and he says, wow. Then you find that really there is nothing that needs to be done. It is all done. If it is not done, it is not done. Doesn't make any difference to me. I'm okay. Whether I accomplish or not, doesn't matter. So now here one important thing, of course, is, so this is where in terms of karma, in terms of our actions and our focus on what needs to be done and so on, needs to be clarified between nitya naimittika on one side and kamya karma on the other side. So as you know, there's one way of looking at the 4 types of karmas that we have. We have, first of all, we have nishiddha karma. So nishiddha karma means one which I should never ever do. And so those are very obvious, we don't have to talk very much, where they are hurtful to anybody else, they are the wrong actions, eventually will hurt you, and so stay away from it. Because if you do them, then some papa will come in, some hurtful things will happen to you. No need to do that. So now we have 3 things left: nitya, naimittika and kamya. So there it is said that out of these 3, please do nitya and naimittika karma. Focus on that. Because the life is still evolving, unless you have retired and you have very little responsibility and you have enough money and your body is also doing well. Not that easy to find, but supposing you do that, then you don't need to do anything. And plus, on the other hand, you will also need to read the Shastra and to see what the nature of the self is. This is what a Jivan Mukta is. If not, then you do have some responsibilities. You have families to support, you have yourself to support, some society, some work has to be done. Friends and relatives who need your help, somebody is in the hospital. Naimittika karma. Or nitya karma means every day you have responsibilities. You have to make sure that you pay your mortgage if you still owe some money to the bank. You have to make sure that your house is protected. your money is protected. So this is the everyday part. And plus your own health, taking a shower every day and keeping your body clean, keeping your mind clean, nitya karma. So if you say I have nothing else to do, but at least for most of us, nitya karmas are there. And naimittika karma means once there is occasion by once in a while things that happen. This also includes puja to the devatas, helping friends, relatives, etc., asking them about their health, do you need any? All of those are naimittika karmas. Then the last one left is kamya karma. So kamya karma means one where you are wanting to do something in order to be happy. And this is a very natural thing. We all want to do things that make me happy. Go for good food, music, etc., friends, and spending time with family and so on. So, well, not the family part. You mean that's a responsibility, but just desire prompted actions. Those should be kept at a distance slowly as your attention grows towards the understanding of the Shastra. And this is where the Vairagya comes in, because you can say that, this is what the Shastra says, that you have to Atma, Anatma, Viveka, and you can be a big scholar in all of this. You may have studied a lot of books and so on. But if you are still hung up in pursuing trivial pursuits, then it is not really, hasn't made any difference to your life. That is a very clear thing. That it is just purely, as I said, academic. It's not real. And so, as you begin to understand the reality about yourself, and it cannot happen until you have a very clear idea that I can be happy with myself. You see the presence of Ishvara, and you just enjoy reading and studying and teaching and discussing. And you don't need to do anything in order for pleasure. This happens gradually, but definitely. That happens, you're on your way. So now, therefore, I would summarize the contribution of Ishvara, as I mentioned last week. So there are two contributions. One is the Jiva's contribution, which means taking responsibility, doing a diligent job of what is the right thing to do, etc. And the other one is the responsibility of Ishvara, means that you take the help of Ishvara, give in, recognize the Ishvara as your parent. And the distinguishing part will be prarabdha karma. You find that there are certain circumstances that prompted you to take this life, and whether it is knowledge or not, you have to go through that. That lifespan has been already decided. It is augmented and subtracted by your habits, and so that will take its own time. And so really nitya and naimittika karma are prarabdha karma. So you just do it because it is already started. If you deny that, then obstructions will happen. So give in to that. But new karmas, kamya karmas, etc., there is no need for it anymore. And you have to discover that there is not a need for it. It is not obvious. And we are not talking about small things here and there where you eating ice cream or just doing something. It's not what we are talking about. But a commitment towards future actions that distract you from your basic things. This is for a Vedantin, not for a non-Vedantin, is the way to go. And ultimately, it is all about understanding the unseen presence of Ishvara in your life. And in order to underscore that, the third chapter of the Kena Upanishad is given with a story, and we will not spend a lot of time, but this whole section that we have been talking about, including today's meditation, will be augmented by the story of the third chapter of the book of the Kena Upanishad, and then we will do it next week. So with that, I close the class today. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Good. Good to see you all in this class. So many of you. Wonderful. Glad you enjoyed the meditation. I will wait here to see if you have any questions. Okay, I don't see any questions. So with that, I say goodbye to you, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Om.